We are back for episode 10 of Journey to a Million here, and we have a very awesome episode planned. Right now, we have the Super Bowl 56 recap. So, of course, we have the Journey to a Million squad, myself, Jared Valesky, and then Zach Roush. And then to add to it, the other man in the sports crew, Jordon Lawrenz. Jordan, how you doing today?
Oh, fantastic. It's episode 10 of this. You guys had to bring your biggest guest on of all time, and that's why I'm here. I can't wait to talk about the Super Bowl.
Yeah, so we had that biggest guest on last week, and I guess we just need a different type of guest for episode 10.
An encore.
Yeah, and that's Jordon Lawrenz here. And with that, let's get into the big game here. Super Bowl 56. We're going to talk all about it. We're going to talk halftime show. We're going to talk commercials. This is going to be exciting. So without further ado, let's start with the game. Zach, I'll let you go first. You're going to, what did your initial reactions of the Super Bowl overall, game-wise? Talk about it.
Well, it's a good game for the Rams. And they came out on top. So it's 7 sacks, something like that. I kind of talked about that last week on the podcast about how I thought the Rams D-line was going to be a big factor. And it turned out that it was. Joe Burrow was under pressure for a lot of the game. And obviously in the last play, I'm sure everyone's seen pictures now about how Jamar had Ramsey beat, and then Burrow just didn't have enough time. So
Ramsey was on the ground again, and that was like his 5th time on the ground in the game.
I mean, that one time he got face masked.
Well, that one doesn't count, but still.
Yeah. I thought overall the game, I wanted a close game. I thought it was going to be higher scoring than it was, even though, Rams defense being how good it is. I felt like, we might get a lot of passing, the first play to start the second half. I thought we'd see a lot more like touchdown, bombs like that, bombs away. But it was a lower scoring than I would have predicted, but it was still, like a 3-point game, like Jordon Lawrenz predicted, right?
Absolutely, I did. I wanted the Evan McPherson field goal to end it. Sadly, we didn't get it. But I think one of the big keys there was Joe Burrow's offensive line in the first half. They were like fantastic. They were really doing no wrong. They were giving them time. They just weren't able to move the ball the best. Second half, they come up with the big play. Obviously should have been called back. Then they got the makeup call in the Rams' final drive. However, like Zach said, 7 sacks, whatever it was. Eventually, that Bengals O-line, we knew it couldn't hold up for long. And if it wasn't for Jamar Chase, obviously the Bengals wouldn't have got here in the first place. But still, just get Joe Burrow an O-line.
Yeah, he almost had another bad injury. He stayed in the game, but yeah, with the bad O-line like that, I mean, they held up in the first half, like you said, but that's just not going to be okay in the future if they want to get to the place they are this year,
He denied medical attention as well on the sideline. It was his good knee. It wasn't his bad one, but still, I mean, that's just the heart of Joe Burrow. You got to love him.
Yeah. And then looking at the game, we saw right away, OBJ get that first touchdown. That was exciting. And then talking about OBJ. Yeah. That was a devastating blow, I'd say, to the Rams. That was where I thought, momentum we saw actually switch and kind of head towards the Bengals for sure. But that was just having that, Odell go down now. He tore his ACL. That was just a big moment because, it really felt like with Cooper Kupp, in those first 2 or 3 quarters, like we didn't really see a lot of him. Maybe I saw some people say, maybe that was a plan, to just keep him until the 4th quarter, which obviously I think is ridiculous. But that was something that I'm sure you guys all saw too. But what'd you guys think of, overall the receiving core? Kind of, we talked, Zach and I did, about big games last week, potentially like Van Jefferson, other guys. What'd you guys think?
I mean, they stepped up when they had to. It's the biggest game of their career so far. And, Odell, I mean, he did get hurt, but he had a good first quarter. When did he get hurt? In the second quarter, I think it was.
Like middle second or something like that.
Yeah. And then, Cooper Kupp stepped up at the end with probably the biggest touchdown of his career. So, I mean, obviously. So, I mean, they stepped up when they had to, and plays were made.
I mean, when you're going to put Eli Apple on Cooper Kupp, you better go to him 10 times out of 10. But at the end of the day, well-deserved MVP for Cooper Kupp. So happy for the guy. I mean, to win the Triple Crown, then win the Super Bowl MVP. I mean, I've got a stat for Drew and I when we do episode 50, stat of the week, one about him just in general. But OBJ, for sure. Do you guys think, okay, hear me out. If OBJ would have been a Packer, do you think that Aaron Rodgers might not have hyper-targeted Devontae as much in the first round? Or do you think it really wouldn't have mattered and OBJ wouldn't have done much to the team?
I think
Zach?
Packers would have made the Super Bowl.
You do.
Yep.
Oh.
I like that. No, I think that would have been big because look at what happened in the divisional round. We saw Rodgers,
He
constantly
didn't trust
target
anyone.
Adams.
Tunnel
besides
vision.
Adams.
Yep.
Yeah, so
He
I
didn't
think
trust anyone
having
else.
another guy, Aaron Rodgers could trust. I think that could have been, a thing that would have really helped the Packers out, other than the special teams not helping them out.
Right.
So I think,
I mean, even for their defense, like the 49ers wouldn't put their best guy. I mean, they'd have to choose between Adams and Odell then. So then they'd have to put two of their best guys and split them up instead of just like double covering Adams or.
Well, they really don't have like a lockdown corner, so it's just
any
like,
team really. I'm talking.
Yeah, I mean, you'd still cover Adams over OBJ, but
Yeah.
it just gives another option and somebody that Rodgers would be able to trust and go to in those big moments.
Mm-hmm.
but it worked out in OBJ's favor. So even
He was in tears. I felt. I mean,
He's a
good for
champion.
him to finally get that. Yeah.
yeah, that was, and then Higbee being out, that was kind of the other big, headline this game because they really, was it Bryson Hopkins? 4 receptions.
I was very
47 yards.
surprised to see that because on one of my DraftKings I had got Blanton for cheap because he's been doing some stuff throughout the season. I was very surprised to see they went to Hopkins a lot more than they did him.
Yeah, and we really didn't see Blanton get a lot of. I don't even know if he
No.
got targeted in the game.
I don't think he did.
We didn't see a lot of him overall. Looking at the Rams' offense, and then of course Cam Akers. Wow, that was abysmal. That was the running game against. Wow, credit to Bengals defense, of course, but the run defense. But that was horrendous. That was, I don't even know what to say.
13 carries for 21 yards. I mean, you're not going to win a Super
Henderson
Bowl
even
with that.
too. 4 for
Yeah.
7.
I was surprised to see they
Michelle?
put Henderson above Michelle. Like Henderson was just coming back, and Michelle was clearly the RB1 when it was Michelle and Henderson. But I mean, Henderson had like one good run, and then that was it. He really didn't do much. He caught the ball a few times better than Akers.
Yeah. Well, while we're talking about running backs, did they like come up with a reason? Was there a reason why P. Ryan was in last drive of the
That's
game?
what
for
I
the
was going to
Bengals
bring. Perfect. Yeah.
instead of Mixon?
I didn't.
He's
see
their third down back, but like then it doesn't make sense because when the game's on the
Yeah.
line, you better just put Mixon in.
Yeah.
even they got let's throw the play, when they let Cooper Kupp rush for that 7-yard run, where they kind of designed a play for him. You get the ball in the hands of your best player when you need a first down, right? In a moment like this. Why didn't we see, we saw Jamar Chase run the ball once, but maybe, have him do some sort of run that we saw. I just felt like McVay kind of outcoached Taylor, I'd say, in this game in terms of just overall play calling and overall just schemes, because we saw McVay get the ball in the hands of his best players when Taylor didn't. Look, P. Ryan was the one. Samaje P. Ryan was the one getting his last touches for when the game was on the line. So
it was okay. I did call it. It was 3rd and 1. I was sitting at home. I said, run the ball because I figured it's easy. You pound it up 5 yards there and expecting a run, call a timeout. But then for them to put P. Ryan in instead of Mixon, it was a little confusing. And also back to that Cooper Kupp one on 3rd and 1 with like 40 seconds left. It's a little risky if you would want to run like a jet sweep or something to chase because those can easily lose 5 yards at a time. You know what I mean? So I understand not taking the risk, but at the same time, to P. Ryan the safe choice, it wasn't a good choice at all.
yeah, I'm spot. You're spot on. I think that's just how it ended up being. But I want to talk about a few controversial calls. Of course, which one I'm bringing up right away. Started second half, 75-yard bomb to T. Higgins. It looked like a little bit of a grab of the face mask, I'd say.
A little bit.
I say a little bit because I believe the officials said there was no grabbing of the face mask. I didn't see anything come out. Zach, did you see anything regarding anything like NFL rules, like regarding post game? Because they always do a review.
No, I didn't see any message from the NFL or the officials come out.
So is this just one of those situations where they say like one of the refs was running downfield and he just missed it, like he wasn't looking or something stupid like that? Because how do you even possibly defend this no call?
Here it is.
Yeah, you probably just say they're running.
Yeah.
Yeah. It says simply put, the fishing crew didn't believe it impacted the outcome of the play. So that's definitely gonna be disagreeable, I think.
Definitely should have just said he was running and didn't see it.
Yeah, that would have been a lot better.
Because
I guess they don't have a lot of faith in Ramsey. I don't know.
Yeah, right. That was
I guess it's a judgment call, and they're saying it was not enough to impact the play. Whatever. I think Ramsey, other than that play, we saw him get burnt a couple times. Hey, but
yes,
we kind of saw him. He was on following. I wouldn't say following, but he was on those top receivers and Higgins, Chase. Boyd, we saw him kind of with those guys, of course, but a lot of people were kind of criticizing his performance in the Super Bowl. I don't know what you guys thought of Ramsey's performance.
Well, I mean, the Bengals have some great receivers. I mean, it's a hard job for Ramsey to try to guard all of them. I mean, we're expecting him to be with them on every play. I mean, every player is gonna slip up a little guarding those players. So I'm not gonna put too much blame on him. Like, it's a hard job, and he did the best he could, and he did what he had to.
Yeah, at the end of the day, that's how it was. Let's talk a little bit more with the defenses on both teams. One guy who really stepped up for the Rams, Ernest Jones. I think that was a guy you might have not heard about. Many people throughout the whole year, but he stepped up when it mattered most. He even had a sack in the game, 6 total tackles, and then 1 assist too with that. But he made some big third down plays. Some big deflections. Just overall, a corner and a guy you need to step up, and the other day he did. So I thought, was there any other guys on defense who really, stood out for you guys for the Rams?
How about Eric Weddle tearing his
that was
tore his pec in the first half and continued to play the rest of the game.
Put the brace on and he's good to go.
Yeah.
Tough.
That's insane.
And then just for him to come out of retirement in the first place, just to play in the postseason and then do this and then wins the Super Bowl, and now he can go retire again. You can't write it any better than that. What a story for the guy.
Yeah, for sure. Let's talk Bengals defense here quickly. I know the big story, of course, Eli Apple was on Cooper Kupp that last play, but it's tough because Eli Apple gets a lot of let's say criticism, and he likes to tweet a lot. So, do we think Eli Apple? Because overall, if you look at his stats and stuff, he was a solid solid corner in the NFL this year. And I know he gets a bad rap, but I guess what do you guys think about Eli Apple?
Well, first of all, he talks too much for his own good, and that kind of comes back to haunt him. That's why all these guys are tweeting at him. But I've always kind of compared him to King in a way on the Packers. That's exactly the comparison that came to mind. And like you said, you're guarding Cooper Kupp on the last play one-on-one, and Kupp's going to get that ball no matter what. So that's tough. But at the end of the day, Apple missed a few, and he also made a few good plays. So he was 50-50 in the Super Bowl like he has been all year long.
And I do think that he's not going to stop talking because he did respond to all this controversy by saying, y'all reawoke a fire in me. So he's probably going to keep the same energy all next year and the rest of his career.
I mean, if that's what he wants to do, good for him.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Just better back it up.
Yeah.
If you're going to talk, you got to back it up on the field.
All right. Now, do you guys want to talk commercials?
Do it.
Let's do it.
Sure.
So we'll talk Sleeper here first. Yeah, Sleeper. We love Sleeper. Join our Sleeper squad. Twitter at JD Sports Pod for the link. Jordan Drew _ Sports Crew on Instagram for the link, or just message any of us. So with that, Sleeper did a giveaway $5 for every crypto commercial that aired during the Super Bowl if you entered a contest. And what all 4 of us did, right? We all entered.
Did you just have to enter one contest?
Just one.
Okay. I wasn't sure about that.
So what happens then is, you all of us, sitting anxiously watching the Super Bowl commercials, waiting for a crypto commercial. And we got 4 of them. $20 Sleeper gave every single one. Who submitted a contest just for having Sleeper, just for entering a contest. So another reason Sleeper's the best. And that was a great promotion, I thought, because we knew there was going to be a lot of crypto commercials. And 4 of them is a pretty big number.
It was like crypto commercials and electric cars, and those dominated the Super Bowl this year. Did you guys scan the QR code on the commercial when it was up? You had to have.
Coinbase.
You scanned it?
You bet.
I did not.
Really?
Yeah.
I waited a few seconds and then I did. I was like, okay, let me just try.
Zach,
this.
did you, or do you know how those work?
Well, I do know how they work.
I didn't know.
I'm not from the 19th century.
They work on a flip phone?
Yeah, apparently they do.
Zach's iPhone 5.
Yes.
I did not, but some guys I was watching it with did, so I was able to see it.
As long as someone did, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
You know how much money they paid just to put up a QR code? That's the easiest, most low budget Super Bowl ad of all time.
And hey, it worked out.
Yeah,
It's cool. I mean,
It's
who's
new,
not
it's
going to
unique.
know where that QR code goes?
Some old lady at home probably thought like her screen was going or something, and she was all confused.
Needs a new TV.
Yeah.
For sure. And yeah, with the episode or with the Super Bowl being on NBC this year, we saw on CBS last year. I'm trying to find the prices right now of how much it is. And it was, spots are starting at 6.5 million. If you're looking.
it was up like 2 million from last year. I think it said. We learned about that in our class.
And is that for a 30-second ad?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
And it's all the big companies too that don't even need to promote, which makes no sense to me. But they got the money, so that's all that matters.
And I'm seeing 7 million
maybe
here.
Maybe in a couple years there'll be a Jordan and Drew the Sports Crew commercial.
When we get okay, well, it'll be about $10 million by then, so we're a few mil behind.
Just a little bit.
Saving up.
Just a little.
Don't worry,
bit.
I'm trying.
Also, guys, halftime show. Initial thoughts, reactions. I loved it. I thought it was great. I know a lot of people. It got positive reviews. A lot of people were dubbing it as the greatest halftime show ever, which you could of course make that case. So, let's start Jared here. What were your thoughts seeing that halftime show?
Yeah, I don't like particularly listen to like all that music, but like even as just a casual fan of just the halftime show, like I would take this 10 out of 10 times over Coldplay, Maroon 5, Katy Perry, whoever's been on lately.
Oh, come on. I love Katy Perry.
This was like 20 times better. Like just the way Snoop Dogg entered, and it was great. I loved how they shared it up, and I think it was perfect. 10 out of 10.
Yeah. Zach?
Well, I actually knew some of the people on that halftime show this year, so
Rare.
I thought it was pretty good. Yeah.
Impressive. Jordan?
I have a funny story. So I was at work on Wednesday, and some old lady came through. She's like a regular or whatever. She was asking me about the game. She's like, "You watch it?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, of course I watched the game." Blah blah blah. She's like, "What'd you think of the halftime show?" I was like, "Oh, it was pretty good. I didn't mind." And keep in mind, this lady's like 70, 80 years old, something like that. She's like, "Yeah, well, halfway through I had to mute it." And I was like, "Oh, why's that?" She's like, "Well, I didn't really know anyone, and that's not my style of music." And like, I think that's honestly perfect though, because it caters to like the 40, 50-year-olds who kind of grew up with that, and then kind of the younger kids now who listen to that type of music. So it was definitely hit or miss, but most of the people that are on social media are going to love it because that's the demographic they were going for, and I think they nailed it.
Exactly. Bernie Van Hoovel, I think he really enjoyed that show, knowing the music he listens to. No, it was good. I liked it, enjoyed it all, and I thought that really added to the Super Bowl experience. But before we do this last thing, I want to talk about. I want to hear what you guys would rate the Super Bowl overall. Commercials, the game itself, and the halftime show. Scale of 1 to 10. I'll start though. I'll give it a 7. I thought it was a solid Super Bowl.
7.
Everything out went. Yeah.
It's kind of low.
Really? I don't know. All right. Zach, go next.
I'll give it a 7.2.
Oh.
Got to be weird with it.
Yeah, I had to.
All right. Jordan?
I was going to go a 9, but obviously that's a little high now. Coming in this game, I'm a Joe Burrow guy, right? Love my LSU, love Joe Burrow, so I was rooting for him hard in this game. I came in saying I didn't really care who was going to win, but then like at a halftime, I was rooting hard for the Bengals, and then on that 4th and 1 where they couldn't convert, I got a little sad, but so happy for Matthew Stafford finally to get that Super Bowl win. All it took was 1 season, and now there's all the Aaron Rodgers slander in the world. I mean, finally news is coming out that he's divorced, so people aren't liking him for that. They're making jokes. They're making jokes about Stafford. The guy can't catch a break, but who cares? Happy for Stafford, and finally he can cement his case to be a Hall of Famer. And Cooper Kupp, Aaron Donald, all those guys, Sean McVay especially too, just good for them all. Very happy for him. I love this game. It was a close, good game. Middle of the road scoring wise. Obviously took over 3 hours, but it's the Super Bowl. That's what you expect. There were some good commercials, good halftime show. I couldn't complain.
Is Matthew Stafford a Hall of Famer now?
I don't know why. I think he's got a few years yet, but I think he definitely will get there.
Not quite, almost. I would rate this an 8. There have been better Super Bowls, like the game in general, like when 28-3, like games like that. There have been games that have ended on scoring, like the last point wins. But I mean, a defensive stop. Defense does win championships. So it was nice to see that. Like I like the game in general. Halftime show was amazing. So yeah, I mean, eight's not bad. I wouldn't go as high as Jordan, but I'd say an 8 out of 10 was pretty good.
Yeah,
we also had to. Oh, go ahead, Drew.
Okay, my whole thing was with the injuries. Seeing OBJ go down, that really was a bummer. Higbee was out. It just felt, we didn't get like everything we could have gotten out of it. I don't know, which might be.
Well, it also could have been a shootout, which would have been a lot more fun. I guess it was like a 45-42 game that went 4.5 hours. But Joe Mixon threw a touchdown as well, so nice little trick play.
I wanted the Philly special to work for the Rams. I was so upset, unbelievably upset, because I thought that was perfect.
Oh, Cooper just missed it.
Yeah, I would say like the I think it was Chiefs Bills. That game was 5 times better than this game, just because it was a shootout, like Jordan said. So I would rather seen that, but it wasn't bad. It was still a good Super Bowl.
Yeah, and to wrap it up, guys, we have some Super Bowl 56 prop trivia.
Oh,
all right,
boy.
Here we go. I don't know. I'm thinking 2 to 3 questions for each person, and it'll be pretty simple. You guys got to keep your own track of your own, how you're doing.
I was going to say, why don't you just say it, and then whoever answers it first wins?
We can do it that way, too. I just wanted to keep it a little surprise. So it's basically stuff. We're going to start the game. Was the coin toss heads or tails?
Heads.
Tails.
It was tails.
It was heads. So
it was heads. You know how I know this? Pat McAfee bet 40 grand on the coin toss that it was going to be tails, and he lost. And now back-to-back years, he's lost his bets on the coin toss. Lost 70 grand alone on him. I knew it was heads.
Jared, you should have known that. I'm very disappointed in you.
Should have. Big Colts bias here.
JT should have won. Next obvious one here. Who will win MVP? Who? Yeah.
The Super Bowl MVP?
Yeah, Super Bowl MVP.
Cooper
Kupp.
So, I mean, with that, do we want to kind of talk about him winning that Super Bowl MVP? Right? I think it was well deserved. Did you guys think that was Aaron Donald? Maybe no. Or was you guys cool with Kupp?
They opened it like in the third quarter or whatever, and to me it was kind of still in the air. So I was like a little questioning it, but then at the end of the day, Cooper Kupp, well deserved. Obviously, on the final drive, of course he was going to get it. You could give it to Aaron Donald, but more often than not, it's going to go to an offensive guy.
I agree with it. Yeah, Cooper Kupp had a great game, great season, great way to end out his season. It was good. It was well deserved. I'd say.
Yeah, I think that's the way to look at it. Here we go. First touchdown score for the Bengals. Who was it?
Is that Joe Mixon touchdown to T. Higgins?
Yeah, it's T. Higgins.
Yep, T. Higgins. It was indeed. That was plus 650 for that one. So that was people cashed in on that. And let's move to some over-unders because that's kind of our bread and butter here. Here it is. So I got some of the props up that were used in the games. We'll start. We'll do the rushing yard one for Joe Burrow. 11.5. Did he hit it?
No,
he did not. Finished with 2. Under was.
There was that one play though where I don't think it was the last. He could have ran for the last play, but there was one play where he nearly went through, and he probably would have ran for 20.
Rushing yards for Matthew Stafford was 5.5.
I don't think he ran once.
It wasn't over.
He didn't.
Yep. No, he got it. He got it. 6.
Yeah.
He got 6.
Really?
People are concerned with it kneeling out potentially with rushing yards to lose them. So
that's
Can
the
I
way
say
to lose
something
them.
about that quick? I saw something that there was a stat 2 Super Bowls ago or so. I think Mahomes, his line was 35 rushing yards. He had 50, and on his last 3 plays of the game, he lost 6 yards on each kneel and ended up getting 34, and he was 1 under.
That's
so that was
ridiculous.
the biggest. Yeah,
that's always a scare, of course, with the
The
drive.
NFL needs to just have kneels not count for a loss of rushing yards. That's ridiculous.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. Here we go. We'll do the receiving yard Cooper Kupp. It was 105.5.
I think he was under.
He was under indeed. Yeah, with 92. Joe Mixon's line was 60.5 for rushing yards.
He hit that.
Under. Did he hit it?
No,
He was under.
he hit it. 72.
No way.
He got it.
He had 2 big runs, but otherwise the rest is forgettable.
A lot of people were concerned, taking any running back in this game because I'm not even going to read Akers. We know he was the under by 43.
Yeah.
By far.
There's 2 more I want to do. I want to do the receiving yards for Tyler Boyd, 39.5.
I think he was under.
He was
I didn't
over.
see him much.
Over
Really?
48. Yeah, that was sneaky by the All
How
the
many
receivers,
receptions do you know?
I
2
do
or
not
3?
know, but all the receivers basically hit for the. They all hit for the Bengals. Chase,
Boyd,
Higgins,
yeah,
and Boyd.
Boyd.
All of them had the overs. So that
Boyd
was
had 5 receptions. I just
the
looked
way
it
to
up.
go.
Wow.
And then here we go. Last one. Color of liquid for the Gatorade shower. What was the color?
Blue.
It was blue. So
I knew that.
plus 490 on that one.
I just saw those pictures on Instagram earlier today. That's why.
And then
I had a Yahoo Fantasy slate going, and that was one of the questions, and I guessed that right. So.
Oh,
Big flex.
there you go.
So
what were the options? Was it like blue, yellow, red, green?
It was blue/green or white/orange.
Oh, they gave you both. That's kind of cheap.
That was generous. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know Zach likes to read some of the big parlays. So one FanDuel Sportsbook better, they cashed in big on $100 same game parlay for $64,475.
That's the way to do it.
To over 64K. That's.
Do you know what the parlay was?
I do not have that up, but that's the same game parlay. That's how you do it. So.
Oh yeah.
That's just, we always like to read those because, it's a sleeper. But
there's the one guy who lost what,
right
$4.5 million or something like that. The one guy who bet on the Bengals.
Oh yeah. The
what's
guy
his name?
Houston.
I'm blanking on it.
The, furniture mattress guy.
Yeah. He would have only won like $7 million also, which is kind of ridiculous.
So like Mattress Mac or something.
Yeah.
Yes.
He bet on
Mac,
the World Series. Like, he's had some big bets. I thought he bet on the Braves. Like he bets on like baseball.
Did.
Yeah. So he's made money. He still has gotten his money up on all the.
He's bets. Fine. But I'm just saying, you lose $4.5 million or whatever it was. Tough. That's gotta hurt.
Was it Drake that bet like $6 million on the Rams? Who was that bet on the Rams?
I don't know.
There's no reason to bet that much money.
No,
Drake,
not at all. Especially if they're the favorite.
1.6 million on the Rams.
1.6.
Well, he got the 6 right.
Something about OBJ, but they did refund OBJ. OBJ's bet on a lot of things because he got hurt.
That's kind of dumb.
For like parlays for like receiving yards, I believe he did, or receptions.
They refunded it?
That's dumb.
They never do that.
Yeah, they did on I think on other places that will remain nameless. For Sleeper, I believe they did not, but hey, they gave out for everyone free $20 basically.
Yeah, that's why we like Sleeper. They're not just going to give you money back. You don't deserve it.
Some places, like I said, didn't even refund it, and they didn't give anyone money back, so like,
yeah,
like that's why you go Sleeper. You don't go anywhere else. Stay with Sleeper. So
I didn't get a single parlay right.
What? All right.
He said it was a terrible ad.
That's okay. So to wrap it up, guys, you guys got anything else?
Super Bowl predictions next year. Who you got?
Colts, Packers. Book it.
Well, Packers with Aaron Rodgers or without?
That's just what I want to see. That's not what I think.
I'm calling it. It's going to be the Bills and the 49ers.
Ew. I was definitely going to go Bills, though, but I'm not sure on the NFC team.
I'll say Bills, Packers.
Dude, the NFC, like, next year is not going to be good, especially if Rodgers goes to the AFC.
Yeah.
It's not looking good. AFC's loaded with, like, young quarterbacks and up-and-coming teams.
AFC's stacked.
I
don't think Burrow makes it back for a few years.
Bills, Rams not repeat Super Bowl, but appearance, and then Bills take it.
That could happen for sure. Buccaneers aren't going to do anything, so I don't know.
The Bills are due.
The Bills are definitely going to be in it.
Yeah.
Perfect. So, anything else for anyone else here on the Four Crew podcast?
I don't think so. Thanks for having me on. This is a fun time.
Yeah. So, episode 11 then will be next week of Journey to Million, and that will be hopefully our first, real episode of focus on the rebuild, or not even rebuilds, but like the off seasons for teams coming up. Preferably, we're looking to have the Rams on next week, so be on the lookout for that. Of course, episode 50 of the Sports Cruise next Monday. Jordon Lawrenz has 50 trivia questions coming on the episode, so I'll be ready to answer all 50 of those.
There's like 10 sports involved. You better be ready.
And then College Athlete Spotlight Wednesday, of course, and then also the breakdown for EWC Sports Tuesday. So
can't wait.
That'll be a lot of fun.
don't we have the seating by then as well? Because isn't boys seating this weekend?
We should have the seating, yeah.
Good, I can't wait.
There'll be a lot of good stuff for Jordon Lawrenz to talk about on solo duty. So
let's do it.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. Expect, Classic 4 episode week next week. And we're almost the 1-year anniversary of the show, so it's going well. 52
is going to be a big one.
You bet. So, yeah, with that, thank you all for listening to yet another episode of Jordan Drew, the Sports Crew, the perfect podcast for you.